It's summertime in 2019 and a lot of you are traveling. Traveling might include neck and back pain. So I've had lots of discussions with patients and people about decreasing neck and back pain when they're traveling, and I have a lot of very simple suggestions for you. Let's say you're going to take a plane flight. Okay, first of all, stop packing so much and making your luggage so heavy. I can't tell you how many people cause serious injuries with their backs, sometimes necks, sometimes shoulders, and so forth. Heavy bags into the car, heavy bags out of the car at the airport to baggage check-in, heavy bags at the terminal at your destination, and so on and so forth. Dragging the heavy bags back into the car when you get home and then back into the house and so forth. Cut way down on the stuff that you're bringing. You probably didn't wear half of it anyway, right? And if you're traveling to a place where you can do laundry, I mean, you can just cut it by 2/3 of what you're bringing. So just keep that in mind. Really try to pack light. Second is if you do have some back trouble and you have problems bending and lifting and so forth and lugging stuff onto the carry-ons onto the aircraft, then check your bags. Spend the extra couple of bucks and check your bags. I've talked about this before. I have people that are regular travelers. They have to travel for business all the time and so forth. And they have actually moved from lugging their carry-ons and putting them onto the upper racks in the aircraft. And they start checking their bags, and they said it was definitely just worth it. It was worth the slightly extra time at their destination to go and retrieve their bags. So go ahead and do that. Okay, next. Go to your chiropractor and get checked out before vacation. Lots of my patients do that. They just want to get an alignment and get their adjustments and so forth for their spine before they leave. The morning before you leave, do your spine stretches if you were into that kind of thing, and you might have learned that from my shows in the past. And you can always go to my YouTube page and review that if you want to. Do your spine stretches in the morning before you leave. Again, if you're doing plane travel, when you get to the terminal, instead of sitting around before you do some sitting on the plane, if you don't tolerate that very well with your necks and backs, then do some stretches before you get onto the plane. Myself, I'm one of those weird people that while I'm on the plane, I'm in the aisle when it's appropriate, and I'm doing my spine stretches while I'm on the airplane, right? So I'm in the aisle doing stuff like this, and I'm doing it in a way that I'm not disturbing anybody else. And I have found that on aircraft, most people are either buried in electronics or sleeping. So they don't care what's going on. And if they see me stretching, they say, oh, there's that weird guy stretching in the aisle. So they don't care anyways, and we're all fine. On bigger aircraft, you oftentimes have more room to do some stretches. You can stretch your hamstrings and forward folds along with the twists and bends. And you can do your little extension stretch like you do here, and then just taking small, short walks. And really is amazing. I tend to be oftentimes the only one who gets up and stretches on an aircraft. I do take note of that. Occasionally I see some others, but not many. Okay, so make sure you do that. And then when you get to your destination, if it's been a longer travel, stretch again. Kind of double up on your spine stretches when you're away. Here's another thing. When I travel, I tend to be a side sleeper, and fluffy, thick pillows don't work for me, and sometimes I'll wake up and say, oh, I need my chiropractor as well. So travel with your pillow if you are sensitive to bed pillows. And the pillow that you love at home might have a travel size. So go look around, see if you have a travel size pillow that's easier to travel with. My brother will oftentimes fly coast to coast in the United States, and what he does, he brings his pillow right on the airplane with him, and he finds that that's a nice thing to have. And he'll also maybe sometimes move it down into his spine. That's an easy way to carry it as well. And that's another hint is on aircraft, you can bring a small thickness travel pillow like a back support, which you can put up higher in your middle back thoracic spine. That will push you this way. Because as you know, all of the aircraft seats are shaped in a C, which promotes this kind of thing. So putting the travel pillow literally in the center part of the back will keep your posture upright and take pressure off your lower back. You can also obviously put that support in your lower back as well. Now, if you don't want to carry that extra small support, then just grab a t-shirt or a sweatshirt in your carry-on or light jacket or whatever, roll it up into a roll. You can put that here, you can put it up here, you can put it on your neck, and so forth. Another thing on planes, if you tend to sleep on planes, definitely invest in one of those neck collars. You can get inflatable ones, which you can actually blow up and then de-inflate when you get to your destination, so it takes almost no space up. Or you can get the ones that are just a foam. I've worked with patients that have fallen asleep on airplanes for a period of time, and then they get up and they actually sprain strain their neck, and we have to work on that for a while. So those are some tricks on planes. If you're traveling by car and you don't tolerate sitting for a long period of time, and you've heard me talk about this for decades on my show, is if you make me sit for a half hour, my back starts to ache, and an hour later it's aching pretty good. So that's why I get up on aircraft a lot. And if I'm taking a longer car trip, I get out every hour. I get out every hour. Some other people will also do that. Maybe you need to get out a little bit less. But when you're taking breaks in the car, let's say you're stopped at a rest area, take a brisk walk for a minute or two. And what I do is one of my favorite stretches for my lower back, and if you're familiar with me and my shows, you know the one where you're lying on your back and you roll the knees slowly, casually, gentle to each side. Really stretches out the discs and the joints in your lower back, right? So I bring a blanket, it's always in my car, ready to go. I throw it on the ground, I do some knee rolls, couple of other stretches, I shake it off, I throw it back in the car, off you go. So a purposeful stretch in the car can be 3 minutes. Brisk walk for a couple of minutes, stretch on the ground for 30 seconds, stretch standing for, say, 30 seconds, back in the car you go. It feels like you're starting all over again. Nice little car travel technique. And remember to pack less. If you're going to be in the car a lot, stretch in the morning before you get into the car, stretch a little bit more at your destination. And lastly, when you get back, get another chiropractic adjustment and check up. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller.